Hi, I am M. Jagadish, Associate Professor in CSC Department. Now in this section, we discuss about the arrays. Now see, in this section, we just going to discuss about arrays, what actually array is, for what purpose we have to use the arrays, and how to declare the array variable, and how to use the array variable. In earlier, when we work with the variable is nothing but a data name, which is used to store a data value. In the variable, we are able to store only one value at a time. For example, assume at the beginning, when you declare a variable x, in the x, if you initialize the value 5, the value 5 will be stored in the variable x. Later again, if you initialize the value 10, then immediately in the same variable, immediately the value 10 will be stored and the previous value 5 will be erased. So the latest value will be stored in the variable, not all the values earlier. So to overcome this problem, we move towards to the arrays. Now what actually array means? Array is nothing but a collection of elements of similar data types. Here we just go to specify a group of elements or a collection of elements that we are storing in the array, and all this group of elements or values should be stored in contiguous memory locations. That's what actually array means. Now, how to declare the array that indicates? Array can be declared by specifying a data type, whatever the data type it may be, by specifying a data type and then array name, and at last we just go to specify size semicolon. This size specifies how many elements or how many values that you want to store in this particular array. So now take one example. Int a of 20. Int a of 20 that indicates here a is nothing but array in which we can store a maximum of 20 elements or 20 values. These 20 elements or 20 values is of integer data type, means we are allowed to store only numerical integer values in the array variable. If you want to store a decimal values, then you have to declare the data type as a float a of 20, but we cannot store 2.34 in the variable a. If you try to store 2.34 in the variable a, the decimal fraction part will be omitted and only 2 will be stored. And similarly, take one more example. Char nm of 16, that indicates here nm is nothing but the array which can store a maximum of 16 values, and the two those 16 values are of character data type. And then basically we are specifying that array is storing a maximum of 20 elements for a of 20 and a maximum of 16 elements for nm of 16. That indicates we are going to store a group of values from 1 to 20 or 1 to 16. How these group of values will be stored, that indicates basically all the values will be stored in the array in contiguous memory locations, and to access the particular elements in the array we can use index, and that index will start from 0 onwards. So from 0 onwards the index will start, and then at last the maximum or the last element in the array is nothing but n minus 1. We specify n is the size. The starting value index is 0 and ending value index is n minus 1. So in this manner, we can access the elements in the array. For example, consider the a of 20. Now, for this a of 20, a of 0 is the first element, a of 1 is the second element, a of 2 is the third element, a of 4 is the, sorry, a of 2 is the third element, and a of 3 is of fourth element. Likewise, then last element is nothing but a of 19 is the last element in the array. In this manner, we just go to declare the array and access the values of the array variable. Now, this array is classified into three categories. Those are nothing but one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array, and multi-dimensional array. There are three types of arrays: one, two, and multi-dimensional arrays. Now we'll go one by one. Come to the first one, that is one-dimensional array. In this one-dimensional array, we are going to store only one-dimensional values, or simply if we just go to store a group of elements, then these group of elements will be stored in contiguous memory locations of one-dimensional array. Now, how to declare the one-dimensional array means I already specified type, array name, and then size. Here, if the subscript is only one, then it relates to one-dimensional array. Now, look at the example. Int number of 5. Int number of 5 means here number is nothing but array variable. And in this array variable, a maximum of 5 values will be stored, and that too, all 5 values is of integer data type. So this is the way how we just go to declare the one-dimensional array. Then come to the next one. After declaring the one-dimensional array, then move towards to the initialization. If you want to initialize the values to one-dimensional array, you can initialize in two ways. One is by specifying the size of the array, and one more is without specifying the size of the array. Now look at this. In this particular one, here we just go to initialize the values by specifying the size of array. The size of the array here we are specifying is 5. Int temp of 5 is equal to open brackets, open parenthesis, 75, 79, 82, 70, 68, and then close brackets, close curly brace, and semicolon. This is the way how we just go to initialize the list of values to the one-dimensional array. Similarly, we can also initialize the list of values to one-dimensional array in another format. That is nothing but without specifying the size of the array. Here I didn't specify any size. We just go to initialize or assign the list of values like this. Even though if it is not specifying the size of array, then these values 75, 79, 82, 70, and 68 will store in contiguous memory locations of temp array variable. This is the way how the memory will allocate the values. That is, memory is going to use to store the list of values. Come to the example. Now, as it is first header file iostring.h, include conio.h, then main function. Here CLR SCR means clear screen. Simply I am declaring one integer array variable and assigning the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the ARR array variable. And also I am declaring loop control variable I, int I. Now for I is equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. Initially I value is 0, 0 is less than 5, the condition becomes true, so it executes the loop. And this loop contains only one statement, that is cout statement. This cout is used to print the array value. In the place of ARR of I, it prints ARR of 0 value. ARR of 0 value is nothing but 1. It prints 1 on the output screen. Then close brace. When it comes to the close brace, again it jumps to I plus plus. So now the I value will becomes 1. Earlier it is 0. I plus plus will result in 1. Again 1 less than 5. Condition becomes true. Again it executes this one. Now it prints ARR of I. ARR of I, that indicates ARR of 1. It indicates it prints 2 on the output screen. Then again close brace. Again moves to the I plus plus. Now I value will becomes 2. 2 less than 5. So likewise, this loop repeats until unless the I value will becomes 5. If I value will becomes 5, 5 less than 5, the condition becomes false. So it comes out of the loop and then it executes the next statement. The next statement is nothing but return 0. That is successful execution of the program. Then close brace. Then at last it displays the output as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of this program. Then two-dimensional array. Now look at this. Here we just go to discuss about the two-dimensional array. This two-dimensional array will also called as multi-dimensional array. The multi-dimensional array can have a different dimensional arrays like two-dimensional array, three-dimensional array, four-dimensional array, etc. Multi-dimensional array that indicates simply more than a single dimension. If more than a single dimension, we can call that is nothing much multi-dimensional array. Here we are going to discuss about the two-dimensional array. So when we just go to discuss about the two-dimensional arrays, then in this we have a two subscripts. Before going to discuss about the main thing for the two-dimensional array is if you want to store a table of values. When you want to store a table of values, you can use multi-dimensional array. So this multi-dimensional array is especially used to store a table of values which consists of rows and columns. Now come to this one declaration. How to declare the two-dimensional array in C++. See, same as it is. data type in the sense data type, and then user defined array name. Here we have to specify two subscripts. One is nothing but for rows and one more is nothing but for columns. If we specify rows value is 2 and columns values is 2, that indicates 2 rows, 2 columns. Totally, I just go to store 4 values in array name. If the rows value is 3 and column value is 3, 3 into 3, rows into columns is equal to the list of values, the number of values in the variable array. So 3 into 3, totally of 9. Similarly, here we just go to take example. So char names of 3, 4. 3 is the rows and 4 is the columns. So total number of values means 3 into 4. That is 12 values are stored in names. 3 represents the number of rows and 4 represents number of columns. So in this way, we just go to declare the array variable of 2-dimensional. Now initializing. Now here we just go to initialize the list of values to 2-dimensional array. So char names of 3, 4 means I am going to specify 3 rows and 4 columns. Here I am going to store 3 names, and each and every name has maximum of 4 letters. So the first name John, second name Mary, and third name Ivan. So like that, I just go to store these values in 2-dimensional array, that is nothing but names. We specify the integer values. You can also specify the integer values. Int names of 3 or 3, 4 means where we can store 3 rows and 4 columns of integer values. Now in 2-dimensional array, it is also possible to initialize zeros to all the values. Now look at this example. Now I am declaring int num of 3, 4, that is 3 of 4, and this 3, 4 is equal to 0. I am initializing a value 0. When I specify a statement like this, that indicates I am initializing all zeros to the array variable nums. 3 rows, 4 columns. Totally, 3 rows and 4 columns totally are filled with zeros. This is the way how we just go to declare and initialize the 2-dimensional array. Then look at this example. Now we'll go through the example program. Here we are declaring 2-dimensional array in the program. Now first include iostream header file using namespace std. Then come to the main function. In the main function, I am declaring the 2-dimensional array variable test with a size of 32. With a size of 32 means 3 rows, 2 columns. The 2 of integer data type means I am going to store the integer values. 3 rows, so first row, second row, third row, and 2 columns. 249 will comes under first column. -501 will comes under the second column. So 3 rows, 2 columns. Here in this program, simply I am printing the values which I initialized to 2-dimensional array. Now I is equal to 0, I less than 3. I value is 0. 0 less than 3. The condition becomes true. So when condition becomes true, then it simply executes the next statement. So the next statement is again a loop statement. So j is equal to 0, j less than 2. Again here, I just go to initialize the j value with 0. So 0 less than 2, condition becomes true. So it executes the next statement. The next statement is nothing but cout statement. Cout means which is going to display the information on output screen. So now what information is displaying on the output screen means the value of test ij. Test ij means I value 0, j value 0. So here 0, 0 element is nothing but 2. 2 will be displayed on the output screen. Then again plus j. Plus j means j value will becomes 1. So again it comes to the test condition. J less than 2. 1 less than 2. Condition becomes true. So again it executes test of ij. Test of ij means test of 0, 1. 0, 1 means -5 value. So -5 value will be appeared on the output screen. Then plus j. Plus j means 2. Now j value will becomes 2. So j less than 2. Again it executes the test condition. J less than 2. 2 less than 2. J value is 2. So 2 less than 2. Condition becomes false. So when condition becomes false, it does not execute this statement. So it directly executes plus I. So when it executes plus I, earlier I value is 0. Now I value will becomes 1. So when I value will becomes 1, again it checks the I less than 3 condition. So I less than 3. Now I less than 3 means I value is 1, 1 less than 3. Condition becomes true. So again it executes the next statement. The next statement is loop statement. So again, j is equal to 0. Now the earlier values will be erased and now fresh j value will be 0. J is equal to 0. It is a new value of j. J less than 2, 0 less than 2. Condition becomes true. So again, it executes the next statement. That is a cout statement. So now j value is 0 and I value is 1. 1, 0. 1, 0 means first row and 0th column. That is nothing but 4. So likewise, it displays all the values in two-dimensional array. So this is the way how we just go to work with two-dimensional array. Then come to the next one, multi-dimensional array. So C++ allows to work with and to use with multi-dimensional arrays also. So now the general format for multi-dimensional array is nothing but data type as it is data type, and then name of the variable, then the list of subscripts. List of subscripts specifies the dimensions. If there is only one subscript, we can specify one dimension. If there are two subscripts, we can specify two dimensions. If more than two, then we can specify multi-dimensional. Here it is nothing but three dimensional. If we specify three, if we specify four subscripts or four dimensions, then that is four dimensional. For example, look at this particular one here. I just go to specify an example int a of 1032. Int a of 1032 that indicates here I am specifying three subscripts. Those are nothing but 10 is one subscript, 3 is the one more subscript, and 2 is the one more subscript. 10 of 32 that indicates totally, this particular example specifies there are totally of 10 arrays are there. 10 arrays are there, and for each array, there are 3 rows and 2 columns. Look at this one. There are totally of 10 arrays are there. For each array, there are 3 rows and 2 columns. Likewise, we can define the multi-dimensional array as a three-dimensional array. Now, arrays and pointers. See, apart from accessing a value through index, you can also access a value through pointer. Why? Because means these pointers will provide the faster operations. That's why we just go to use pointers. Now look at this particular one. First of all, for the one-dimensional array, generally to access a value, we can use the index like s of 0 for the first element, s of 1 for the second element, and s of 2 for the third element. Instead of accessing a value through index, you can also access a value through pointer. Now here I am using a pointer s plus 0, or simply pointer s like this, or simply like this, pointer s. So which will use to access the first element in the first one-dimensional array. Then to access the second element, then pointer of s plus 1, which is used to access the second element. For the third element, pointer of s plus 2, which is used to access the third element. Similarly, you can access the two-dimensional arrays values also. Generally, for two-dimensional arrays, we just go to use the index values to access the array values. So here, instead of using the index values like 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 2, here we can use pointers. Pointer s of 0 plus 0, or pointer of pointer s plus 0, which is used to access the first element in two-dimensional array. If you want to access the second element in two-dimensional array, we go to a statement like pointer of s of 0 plus 1 or pointer of pointer s plus 1. So which is used to access the second element. Then come to the next one. Pointer s of 1 plus 2 to access the second row, third column value. Likewise, you can access the values of either one-dimensional or two-dimensional by means of pointers also, which is used to access the values efficiently and fastly. Thank you.